morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Please have a seat, sir. So, can we start now?
Yes.
So, Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Nurin Kaisha Aisyah binti Remy. I'm the lead financial analyst. So, guys, this is Mr. Raja Haziq. He's the CEO of Khind Holding. So, this is all my financial analysts. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Al-Iqbal bin Ruslan.
My name is Nisrina Nabiha binti Muazzar. And my name is Nur Amira Balkis binti Fauzan.
So, we are all gathered here to present to you about your financial statement. But before that, Mr. Raji, can you explain a little bit about your company?
Good morning, everyone. So before we start, I would like to introduce about the company background. So Khind Holdings Berhad is an investment holding company, whilst its subsidiaries engage in the manufacture and sale of electrical home appliances and distribution of industrial electrical products. Khind is one of the leading manufacturers of electrical appliances and a major provider of all types of general fans and home consumer fan products in Malaysia. We established in 1961, Khind has grown from a humble electrical appliance repair shop to the largest manufacturing plant in Sekinchan, Selangor. Today, Khind has become a successful Malaysian brand, well known in the international scene with presence in over 58 countries around the globe.
So thank you, Mr. Raji. So we move to your company financial statement. So this is your company's financial position statement for 31 December 2021. This is also your statement of financial position for December 2021. Next is your statement of profit or loss for December 2021. This is also your statement of profit or loss for 2021. Next, we're going to talk about your financial ratio. So I will pass to my financial analyst. Please.
Okay, let's continue our discussion. So, our team in financial analysis, we have helped Khind Holdings to calculate their financial statements. Okay, for financial ratio, the first one is liquidity ratio, sir. So for your current ratio, it shows that 2020 1.90 has dropped to 1.86, right? So we conclude that your Khind Holdings able to pay in the short-term obligation. Compare to your quick ratio in 2020 1.24, it become to 1.08. At here, when the quick ratio were in quick ratio, they will deduct the inventory. So we can see that your Khind Holdings cannot pay in the short-term obligation. So here in the bar chart, you can look the difference between 2020 and 2021, right? So next point is leverage ratio. So in leverage ratio, we have time interest in ratio and debt ratio. So we go through time interest in ratio. In 2020, 11.82 has dropped to 10.5. It shows that the Khind Holding have declining operating income and low capability pay interest obligation on time. So I sure that your Khind Holdings now problem issue with the pay interest. So the next point is debt ratio. We see that 2020 and 2021, no much difference. It constantly, and I'm sure that it shows that company is constant and manage to their debt. So to the next, yeah. Here are the bar chart. As you can see, 2020 and 2021, debt ratio and time interest ratio, no much difference, but I'm sure that your company can achieve your goals. So for the activity ratio, I will pass to Amira Balkis, our second financial analysis.
So now I will be talking about the activity ratios for your company. So today I have counted for you two types of activity ratios, which is inventory turnover and average collection period. So for the first one, which is inventory turnover, the inventory turnover for 2021 is worse than 2020. So this actually shows that Khind Holdings is not efficient in utilizing its inventory as it was higher than the previous year. So a low inventory also might be a sign of weak sales and excessive inventory. So my advice for you to overcome this problem is to use maybe an inventory management software, or your supply chain management can use a pull-through production, which procures the production materials and start the manufacturing only after a customer orders the finished product. So for the next one, which is average collection period, so the average collection period at 2021 is better than 2020. So this actually shows that Khind Holdings can collect its account receivables better than the previous year. Okay, so here is the bar chart for the two activity ratios that I have counted for you. So this chart can show you a better perspective of the two activity ratios that I've counted. Okay, so that's all. So I will pass this presentation for the other ratio to Nisrina.
Okay, so I will presenting the profitability ratios for this company. As you can see here, in terms of profitability, the firm has recorded a worse performance under all measures. The net profit margin are worse at 4.6% respectively as compared to 6% for the company. This shows that the Khind Holdings cannot generate more return from its operation. The return on equity are also lower at 14% as compared to the 2020 of 18.2%. The firm struggles to generate significant profits from its sales and experience low returns from both asset and equity investment. It indicates that this company is less profitable and generate lower returns compared to the 2020. Okay, so this is the budget for profitability ratios for 2020 and 2021. So, all my financial analyst has presented you about your financial ratio. So, what do you think, Mr. Raju?
I think I'm not satisfied with the financial statement because it is getting worse from the previous year. But I understand because of the COVID incident. So my company needs an additional fund of 1.2 million to finance a short-term project. The project will take 8 months to be completed. The company has the following alternatives to choose from.
Okay, for alternative for short-term financing for your company, sir, I have asked my financial analyst to provide 4 alternatives for your company. So, Mr. Iqbal, can you explain to us your alternative, please?
So we continue our discussion. Alternative for short-term financing. Okay. For my alternative, we can loan from CMB Bank at discounted interest rate of 8% per annum and 50% compensating balance. The present account balance is RM 150,000. So, I will explain what is discounted loan. Discounted loan can make the borrowers know the total amount to be repaid upfront, making it easier to plan and manage the cash flow. This predictably can be beneficial for budgeting and financial planning. So as you can see, I have calculated for your Khind Holdings company. For using this formula, EIR equal to interest over principal minus interest and compensating balance minus your demand depot. So at the last, I have concluded that your EIR have meet 8.68%. So I will continue to another alternative, Mira Balkis.
So for the other alternative, which is the second one, I would suggest commercial paper. So commercial paper is a form of short-term debt issued by a corporation that is typically used to finance short-term liabilities, which is account payables or payrolls. So here, I would suggest to issue a commercial paper with the face value of 100,000 ringgit each at 9% per annum, and the issuing cost would be 1,500 per paper. So as you can see through my calculation here, I have counted the interest, which I got 72,000 ringgit. And for the flotation cost, I counted for flotation cost to know how many pieces of commercial paper that that you would be issued. So I got 1,800,000. So for the effective interest rate, we got 12.16%. So for the next alternative, which is trade credit. So trade credit is an agreement that a customer can purchase goods and without paying upfront and paying the supplier at a later scheduled date. So here I would suggest taking a trade credit with the following credit terms of 3% in 15 days net 50. So the effective interest rate at actual cost of delaying payment at the end of the period is 31.81%. So the next alternative would be from Ms. Rina.
So I will presenting for the last alternative, which is the alternative 4. So my suggestion is revolving credit agreement. A revolving credit facility of 1,500,000 ringgit, which charge 10% annual interest rate on used amount, 3% commitment fee on the unused portion. The bank also requires a 10% compensating balance. So revolving credit agreement is similar to line of credit, but the ST loan is available at any time. It could actually be for the period of more than 1 year, depending on the contract. So how does revolving credit work? When a borrower is approved for revolving credit, the bank or financial institution establishes a credit limit that can be used over and over again, all or in part. A credit limit is the maximum amount of money a financial institution is willing to extend to a customer seeking funds. The main advantage of revolving credit is that it allows borrowers the flexibility to access money when they need it. Many business, small and large, depend on revolving credit to keep their access to cash steady through seasonal fluctuations in their costs and sales. So for the interest, we get 80,000 ringgit. Commitment fee is 9,000. For compensating balance is 120,000. So we can conclude that the total we get is 12.36%. So after you hear all these alternative, for me, I would suggest you for alternative one, Mr. Raji.
Why will you recommend me the alternative one and not the others?
It is because for alternative one, they got the list of effective interest rate. So I think it should be good for your company, sir.
Then I'll agree with you.
So I think this is the end of our meeting. Mr. Raju, are you satisfied with our presentation?
I think the presentation is very nice and I understand everything. So thank you everyone for coming to this meeting.
So thank you, Mr. Raju, for listening to our presentation, and thank you everyone. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.